Hello, you absolute legends. Welcome back to the channel. It's John here, and today we are visiting Thorpe Park Resort in Surrey. Here's my friend Jay. He's come along for the day with me. In this video then, let's go for a day at Thorpe Park. We arrived at about 7:20. The park officially opens at 10 o'clock, and there's quite a large wait for the security area to check your bags and bits and pieces. But once we got through that, I think Jamie has to put his belt back on. We were into the park. Heading into the park, tickets. We did the Super Sun Savers free tickets, and we visited on a Thursday in September, and it cost us around about £4. Now that's £4 for the two of us, so £2 each. The usual ticket price, £64, so great saving of doing it that way on the Sun Savers. They've got accommodation on site. It's the Shark Hotel we just saw, and as you make your way through the main plaza dome area, that is where all you've got your cafes and your shops and bits and pieces. And we headed straight into the park. Lovely sunny day, however it had been very wet and windy, a couple of hurricanes at the tail ends of the hurricanes this week. So we decided to have a wander around first, to see what was about, and then have a look at what we were going to get on. About 10:30 we got into the park, and we did notice at that time that not a lot of things were open at that time due to that wet and wind from the day before. This is a lovely, great big, I don't know, log flume, would you say? We went on that later on. Angry Birds Land is the IP that Thorpe Park has. And there's a Burger King. And we decided to head right to the back of the park first. So the very first ride of the day for us was right at the back corner, and it is the Rumba Rapids. It wasn't very busy, it was just walk on. We got straight on, you put your bag in the middle, and have a little rapid ride around the rear of Thorpe Park. Was it very good? No, well, it wasn't very good at all. But Jamie and I had a fun time, and it was the first ride of the day. Fine, just get us in the swing of things. Nobody else there. Walk straight on, walk straight off. This is Nemesis Inferno, which is a roller coaster based on the Nemesis coaster at Alton Towers. That was closed at the time. And this is the Ghost Train. It's a walk-through ride experience, and that didn't open until 12 o'clock. So we had to come back for that. Project Exodus is currently being built at Thorpe Park, where the old Loggers Leap area used to be. That also used to be a water ride. Can't really see too much, but next year it's coming, 2024, Project Exodus, and it's going to be the UK's fastest and tallest roller coaster. Looking forward to that. New for 2022 was Labyrinth Black Mirror. I hadn't ridden on that. I haven't been to Thorpe Park many times. It's Jamie's first time at Thorpe Park, and it's my second time at Thorpe Park. I went with Mrs. John Coupland in 2016. There's the roller coaster called Colossus. It's a 10 looping roller coaster. And here is Samurai. It's a nice flat ride. Flat rides aren't my thing. But the next ride we decided to go on was Saw the Ride. This is an inverted coaster, and it's themed to the film franchise of Saw. So it's got a horror theme. As you can see in the queue line, it looks like a warehouse. Can't really see too much of the ride when you're queuing, but you can see some details such as disemboweled and disembodied mannequins and razor wire, and it's themed very well. When you get into the building, I won't give away too much, but you're seeing just it is themed to Saw the Ride, and you might even see the little jigsaw puppet dotted around the place. There it is. So it's themed about you needing to escape from one of Jigsaw's contraptions, and the way to escape it, well, is down this massive drop and this loop. It's got quite a few inversions. There's some great fun little head chopper elements, including this piece here, and I'm looking through this barbed wire at the main drop and the main loop. Hopefully there will be a car come up in a minute. Oh yeah, there it is. So this opened, I don't know, around 10-15 years ago now at the park. I don't actually know the exact date, but it is a fantastic ride, and we waited about 20 minutes to get on in this day in September. By the time we got back, Black Mirror Labyrinth was open to the public, and we queued for around about 10 minutes waiting for this. We didn't know what to expect. We were told that it was a experience, a walkthrough experience, and it was a walkthrough experience. I don't want to give again too much away, but it wasn't something that we rated. It's a good concept, but it's not something I would go on again. Here's Colossus, looking beautiful in the sunshine. It's a bit of a wild ride, and here is one of the flat rides. It's like a swinging flat ride. They're loading up as well. Love this. It's like a elevated magic carpet ride. Mrs. John Koopman has been on one of these with me at M&D's theme park in Scotland. Great fun. This one is themed lovely. We didn't go on this one in the end because flat rides are not really our thing. I'm sure you'll see a pendulum as well. Here's a pendulum. Yep. There's loads of these about in the UK. They are travelling fairground rides. There used to be one at Pleasure Island in Cleethorpes called Pendulous. I don't think it was this one, but we watched the people on the screen with that. Again, not really mine and Jamie's sort of ride. We are more into our roller coasters. Hold. And if you didn't know, we are at Thorpe Park. I think Jamie wanted a photograph for his kids. We went on to the Swarm next, which is a great themed area. This ride is the most recent ride at Thorpe Park that is a roller coaster. It is a flying roller coaster, and it's themed to an alien dystopian future. The world has ended, and you have to get to an abandoned church, which you will see in just a moment. There it is, and that abandoned church is the ride load. Great on this. I loved this coaster. Jamie had heard absolutely nothing about it, and he was like, do we go through that billboard? Yes. Do we go over that water? Yes. So it has got a lot of inversions, this one, but as a sit-down ride, it is fantastic. And I just want to show you the theming on this because I am a real big fan of this ride, and it's so smooth as well. Ride time is about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, so you've got a good ride time, and you've got the over the chest and shoulder harness on this, and your legs hang free. So we're loading in. I think we waited about 10-15 minutes on this run for the Swarm. You can see everybody there. And I did think, well, as a large gentleman, am I going to struggle to get in this ride? And thankfully, no, I didn't. It was a bit of a running theme of the day. Am I too fat to get on this ride? So far, so good. I did manage okay. I'm 6'4", so my height doesn't help either, but also I'm very broad and a little bit chubby. So I got in the test seat beforehand. This is a model look at Project Exodus after we'd finished on the Swarm. Jamie loved the Swarm, and they were having an Oktoberfest style event. One thing about Merlin Entertainment and Alton Towers and Thorpe Park and all these sorts of things is they often have little pop-up events throughout the year. We went just before Scarefest, which is the thing for Halloween. Jamie said, I'm going to have a beer. I'm going to have a beer. And there was some umpire music playing as well, which you can hopefully hear in the background. Quite busy, this little area, this little courtyard. Beer, snacks. You could get currywurst and bratwurst. But we decided to go on the ghost train instead of Jamie getting a beer at this time. So we got into the queue for ghost train. And, well, ghost train was okay. Then we got back out. Jamie got into a beer mug for some reason. Well, there's a wasp. And he was enjoying the entertainment. It rained while we was in the train, so we missed the rain, which was good news. We decided to carry on our day by heading to Colossus. We're in the queue line for Colossus then. This is a 10 looping roller coaster, and I was a bit dubious about if I could get on this one because of the ride vehicle. It would push your knees up quite high, and I've got big old legs. So the question was, will I get on Colossus? Here's Colossus looking beautiful in the sunshine. Excellent. Great loops. It's got a bit of a corkscrew as well. And here's me outside of Colossus whilst Jamie's riding it because, you guessed it, I was kicked off for being a little bit too large. But they did give me a Nemesis Inferno single rider fast pass. The Walking Dead is an indoor roller coaster, and it had remained closed for most of the day, and then around about 3:30, miraculously, it just popped up open. So Jamie was really happy. It was one that he wanted to ride. We came off The Walking Dead. It's an indoor roller coaster, and how can I get Jamie's review? Yeah, here's my review. Oh, terrible. They actually sent the whole car, the whole train round with just me and Jamie in. Now, I mean, it's a big old train. So it was just me and Jamie on the ride. So as you can see, I'm pointing out, it's empty. Empty, empty, empty. Oh, and there's B and Jamie. So yeah, I don't know why they did that. That must have been some sort of reason, but we had the ride all to ourselves. Next was a ride called Stealth. This is an accelerator coaster, as you can see. It goes up and over, and this is one of my favourite coasters in the UK. Mrs. John Cooper hates it. It's about 18 seconds long, the roller coaster. It's a very short ride, so it's not something I'd want to be queuing up for a long time for. I think we waited about 5 to 10 minutes to get on the ride, and a lot of people naturally gravitated to it because it had been closed all day. So they wanted to ride it before the end of the day. And I can't blame them. We only had one ride. It was one that I could ride a few times over and over. And Jamie hadn't been on this one, and he loved it. He really liked it. So I'm glad that my recommendation was well received. We're going to see our ride photograph. There we are. Look at my face. I'm loving life there. Brilliant. So it's now time to use up our golden key, which is our Nemesis Inferno Fast Pass, holding up to the sun. Here's us going into the fast track entrance. At this time, the queue for Nemesis Inferno had built up to about 50 minutes. So us are really enjoying skipping most of that queue and doing the fast track entrance. We didn't pay for that fast track. You can pay for the fast track. They're about £10, which I don't really agree with. But you can see that it's turned out to be a beautiful day. And we got loaded in quite well. Top tip, if you're a big person, 4 and 5 have got bigger restraints. Here's the ride going round. Good effects on this. It's meant to be flaming and smoking in bits and pieces. I don't really rate this roller coaster. I don't think it's very good. I prefer Nemesis Old Towers, but as a flying roller coaster, it's okay. As a sit down and your legs dangle roller coaster, it's good. Jamie got his beer, and then we rushed to Tidal Wave, which again had been a ride that had been open and closed all day. It had periodically come open for 5 minutes and then closed, and it is a massive water ride. You can see that there's a big drop. This is in Amity Cove, Amity Bay, and it's a log flume basically, and it's one where, well, you get quite wet, and you can see just how wet we did get. Jamie had to wring his t-shirt out. I'm not going to start stripping off at Thorpe Park. Obviously Jamie's got his lovely bod out, and we're then taking some selfies to say, look how wet we are, and send them to Mrs. John Cooper. Why did you get so wet? Well, I can show you why we got so wet, because this is the drop. It's a fantastic drop, and this is the water spray, and I genuinely thought that this was just going to kick the water out, but I have never been so wet on a theme park ride in all my life. Look at me loving life before I'm about to get soaked. We paid £3, yes we did, to dry off, because we had a long drive home. It was a 3.5-hour drive home. We paid £3 to use these machines to dry us off, and actually it didn't dry everything off. I still got wet underwear and wet shoes. We thought that another ride on the Swan would maybe help dry us off, and it did actually, and the queue time this time was about 5 minutes. Another ride on the Swan. And then we decided to end the day with possibly one of the best rides here at Thorpe Park, which is Depth Charge. It's so bad, it's good. There's Jamie. I think he's limping because he's got wet shoes. And I spotted this on the sign, a maximum weight of 127 kilograms per boat. Well, it's a little bit touch and go at the moment, but I decided to try it on Depth Charge. And here I am, and here's Jamie looking excited about Depth Charge. Oh, he loves Depth Charge. It's basically, you sit in a boat and you go down a water slide. You don't get wet. It's a one-way down water slide. And at the end, what's Jamie's verdict?
We're sick.
He loved it. Great, that ride was sick. And that was it. That was our day at Thorpe Park. We got on everything that we wanted to ride. All the rides opened in the end. I say we. I didn't manage to go on Colossus because large and in charge. But goodbye to Thorpe Park. It's about a 2.5-hour journey to the park from where we are. It cost us about £30 in petrol. We took the smart car, as you'll see in a minute. Tickets were £4. We didn't eat any lunch in the park. Jamie had a beer which was overpriced. It was a lot of money. And actually, we left the park and decided to head to a Toby carvery. And I can't tell you that was one of the best carveries I've ever had. Probably because I was absolutely ravenous. The next job was to find the car in the car park. And finding a smart car in a big old car park wasn't that difficult because Jamie had got a good sense of direction, but I didn't know where we were going. We managed to find it, and that was our day. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, thumbs up. What do you think to Thorpe Park? What's your favourite ride? Let me know in the comments below. Take care and goodbye.